hardly loud, coding in the cyber cloud. Frames a second through the sky, wish upon a starship fly. 6 RTX, different 90s please, lighting up his bamboo trees. Every pixel, every fight, chasing shadows in the night. Building up a digital tower, minute by minute, hour by hour. Voltage ripping through the air, he'll meet you there if you dare. Cryptic codes on neon screens, virtual reality scheme. Binary beats, marching past, hold the future, make it last. 6 RTX, different 90s please, lighting up his bamboo trees. Every pixel, every fight, chasing shadows in the night. Digital tower, minute by minute, hour by hour. Voltage ripping through the air, he'll meet you there if you dare. Cryptic codes on neon screens, virtual reality scheme. Binary beats marching past, hold the future, make it last. 6 RTX, different 90s please, lighting up his bamboo trees. Every pixel, every fight, chasing shadows in the night. Chasing shadows in the night.
Good morning, bros. Welcome to the live stream. Why does it feel so long since I streamed? It feels like forever, but it's since Sunday, right? Has this week been longer? I think this week has felt much longer. Good morning, Mr. Dan Bolmer. I think I'm supposed to meet you today. Mr. Zapirate. Hello, good sir. Squirrel Masters. I saw the Radeon 7 thing. I'm gonna do what you sent me. Okay, Radeon 7s. The Radeon 7s might have a use case now. Rude Puts. Hello, good sir. Jingle Miner. Hello, man. Zapirate. Mr. Retro Mike Tech. Iota Pie. Backwards Miner. What's up, man? Bassomatic. What's up, man? Good morning. Bleach 500. Good morning. Victorious 416. What's up, man? RPM, I saw your video where you hit a BCH block. Have you hit any more since? No, I have not. I've only hit a Bitcoin Cash block. That's it. Hit that like, bros. Smash the like. Okay. I wanna we're gonna talk about I guess what I'm mainly focusing on right now. Okay, and we're gonna write it all down. Okay, and this is where I want to this is where, you know, a lot of people in this space have certain things, certain ways they are trying to make money, and it's always been, I guess, the dominant crypto mining strategy has always been mine and hodl. That's it. That has always been the number one strategy, I guess. If you it goes back way before me, you, anywhere, any type of investment, except we're not mining, but anything buy and hold, whatever, you know. And if you look past the past, like what, couple decades, anything you invested in has obviously gone up due to inflation and money printing, you know, you name it, right? The things that you invest in generally always go up over time, no matter what. So, but, and here's a big but, we've come to this point now where majority of people are unable to do the whole mine and hodl strategy. Why is that? Why are people unable to do the whole mine and hodl strategy? Well, here's the thing. Tons of people getting laid off. Economy is bad. Cost of living is up. Right? People not making a lot of money from their jobs anymore. So the strategy for me has changed. Okay. Fix that for you. Mine to BTC and hodl. So I mean, again, that's another strategy, right? Travels. Thank you for the 31 months, man. $500 Z15 for the win. Props to all who got one from King. Oh, I love you, Pen. Travels. Oh my goodness, man. What? Yeah, what is happening with Zcash? What's happening? I'm curious how long this is gonna last. I'm very curious how long this pump up here with Zcash. Just insane. $55 up to 371. 900%. The Z15 Pro is now the top most profitable ASIC miner on miningnow.com. S23 Hydro is going back and forth with it, but isn't that hilarious how that works? Isn't that hilarious? That's just really funny to see that happen. And I have a Z15 Pro, and I can attest to it is definitely earning what it is saying. So $44 yesterday, 38 the other day, 39 the other day, 42 the other day. Yeah. But we'll talk about it. But we'll talk about it later. But the Z15 Pro has an April batch. So I definitely do not recommend buying any batches coming up for any Zcash Equihash miner. I don't recommend it. Definitely don't recommend it. And people are still continually getting scammed on eBay, buying the $1,000 Z15 Pro and then sending Bitcoin to this address, and they're getting wrecked. So don't do that, please. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't FOMO, please. Don't FOMO into the whole Zcash Equihash mining. Okay, it's insane. It's insane. People are buying these things for insane amounts, and I'm telling you, what comes up also goes down. So what comes up must come down. So you can see how my Z15 Pro has gone from, like, you know, a couple bucks, $8, $5 a day, all the way up to 44, but that is in the span of 1 month. If you look at the history of Zcash mining, I mean, sure, there's been spurts of when it was good, obviously, but does it last? Does it stay up there forever? No, it doesn't. So just understand if you're trying to get into Zcash mining now, just don't FOMO into it, because there's going to be times when it's not going to be good. So anyway. Okay, back to it. Back to what I am doing. What am I focusing on right now? Okay, well, considering I've been considering everything that I have going on. Okay, so this is just in my personal financial situation, and actually this is what I have been hearing from a lot of people, obviously. A lot of miners who do this in a bigger scale. I'm not big scale. I'm much smaller, of course, but you know, income generation, the way people make money these days is very important. And crypto mining these days has been, how do I say, what's that saying? What's that saying? The juice ain't worth the squeeze? Is that what the saying is? The juice ain't worth the squeeze. Which means the juice ain't worth the squeeze means that the reward or outcome of an action is not worth the effort, risk, or negative consequences involved in achieving it. So I've noticed this with crypto mining over the years, that if you don't have cheap electric, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Let me put it that way. And depending on if you were altcoin mining or anything like that, you've pretty much lost. You've all the altcoins that you've been mining and hodling up until this point has gone down like tenfold. Some of them 99%. So I'm talking generally overall. Sure, there are some. There's been some outliers. I'm not saying, there's been like Caspa. If you mined Caspa at a certain point, sold it at 20 cents, 24 cents, whatever, you did great. Lithium, you sold a lithium at $4, you did great. Now that a lithium's down, you mined sure, you did certain plays, sure, you could say that worked out, but I'm talking like generally over time now. Generally across the board, altcoin mining has just been crap. Again, spec mining certain plays you might have done well, but I'm talking across the board now that mining is such a big dog play now. You got to scale, you got to have cheap electric, and if you're doing it at home residentially at 15-20 cents electric, again, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. I think that's probably the best saying for crypto mining currently, for anyone that's doing it as a residential miner. And I know a lot of people are buying these home style miners, using them as heaters. That's all well and good. That's all well and good. I'm all for it. You're instead of using a baseboard heater or oil based heater at your home, I get it. You want to mine crypto instead of using a baseboard, wasting electricity on a baseboard heater. That's totally fine. I do that as well, and I think that's great. But you're not gonna make a substantial amount of money doing it. Okay, so, but I'm talking now. Okay, I'm talking now. People who are doing this as a business. Okay, so, and we're gonna I'm just gonna keep going on, because there's tons of people in different financial situations. There's gonna be people that have full-time jobs. And there's going to be people that don't have full-time jobs, and there's going to be people that have maybe a full-time job, but maybe, they're mining and trying to hold some, but have to sell depending on expenses, right? That everyone's in a different situation in that regard. And again, the first strategy of the mine and hodl, everyone's trying to do the mine and hodl way of, hoping that crypto and everything's generally going to go up. Yeah, there's plenty of people who do that, and that's your time horizon has to be years. We're talking years out, not short term, a year, 6 months. The mine and hodl method is years, or we're talking years. Okay, your goal is long term, and most likely people who are doing the mine and hodl is majority, I'm gonna say, is hobby miners. Okay, for people who are doing it as a business, I mean, it's really hard, because if you don't have that capital, and you know, tax wise, when taxes come up, especially if you're making a significant amount, and some businesses or corporations, when you're doing crypto mining, you have to pay taxes every quarter, like I do. So where the heck am I going to come up with that type of, where am I going to come up with that extra money, right? Again, with the whole mine and hodl strategy, for most people, like, if you're not doing it as a business, you're okay, and you have a full-time job, you can, you know, pay out of pocket, whatever, that way. But then you can't expense the electricity and depreciate miners like a business, which I do, which all you guys, I think majority of you guys do. So, you know, but so there's people who are mining and selling everything, right? And I'm gonna say I am now at this point. I am now at the point of everything that I have going on right now, all the miners that I have, the income generation that I'm earning from all of my hardware, which we did a live stream calculating all of my hardware a couple days ago, or last week. This obviously changes now. This changes now. I think it's gone down a bit because the market's come down, so it's much lower. But just seeing the dollar value of how much things I'm earning, and then do I have the capital? Do I have the money to pay out of pocket? You know, pay the power bill out of pocket. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Right? This is where it comes. This is where my risk tolerance comes in. Right? This is where my risk tolerance comes in, and also I'm also trying to lower my risk in a way that I have to make sure, if next year, what if next year is the bear market? Well, what if next year is the bear market? Do I have enough capital to survive? Do I have enough capital to do? I've personally done the whole mine and hodl thing the past like 4 years, right? After 2021, I've basically done mine and hodl. I was basically this. Thankfully, I was able to, you know, I made money from, my full-time job is YouTube. So in order to pay my electrical bill out of pocket was from my YouTube, right? Sponsors, right? I could do it that way. But when it comes to now, okay, and I'm giving you guys my honest talk here, okay? Mining and selling, for me, I am now generally doing this because income that I have coming from other sources isn't as high as it was, you know, like in 2021, you know, 2022. So I need to mine and sell now, right? I need to mine and sell. I'm still holding like majority of a lot of things that I've mined back in the past couple of years, but now that things are on a down low, right? We got companies, we got sponsors, you know, sponsors no longer wanting to pay, you know, top dollar for advertising anymore. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because in my case, you can see that people aren't buying stuff. Majority of people aren't buying ASIC miners anymore, right? A lot of people aren't buying stuff. Home residential miner is not going to buy a $5,000, $6,000, you know, Avalon A16 XP. Avalon A16 XP? Oh, okay. For $6,000. Who here is going to buy a $6,000 miner at home right now? Put your hands up. Let me see. Let me see in the chat. Let me see in the live chat. Who here is going to buy a $7,000, $8,000 ASIC miner for home mining? Tell me. Nobody. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. Again, The juice ain't worth the squeeze. I'm gonna say that saying a lot. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. The reward or outcome of an action is not worth the effort, risk, or negative consequences involved in achieving it. You know, we've seen this massive diminishing return with crypto mining. I have to say, with everything that's been happening in terms of the altcoins, it's just been like, I look at my cost basis on my Coinly. My Coinly is my tax software, right? I do all my crypto taxes in here. I import. Some of them is auto import, but some of the coins you have to manually put in the CSV to import. Over the past couple of years, the cost basis is in the negative. So if I sold a lot of my coins, and this is the case with a lot of you guys that are doing the whole mine and hodl method, the coins are now in a capital loss. If you sold now, you are down 50, 60, 90% on a lot of coins, right? Again, we've talked about, if you just mined into Bitcoin, you did a lot better. Or if you just bought Bitcoin, you would have done better. And this just shows. I can even show you a great example. So we did a $1,400 buy, theoretical buy, on a lot of these altcoins for GPU mining. We did the 6600 XT test, and the rig that mined into Bitcoin did the best. Okay, ultimately, look at this. Look at this. And I'm not saying that altcoin season isn't coming. I hope it comes. And in any case, there's some of these coins could have a higher multiplier. Like, what if Ergo did a 10x? What if Ravencoin did a 10x, right? Then it would be better than Bitcoin. The investment at that time would have been better. Okay? So I'm just talking about now. Okay? In terms of now, I'm not saying these altcoins are going to stay down here forever. I hope it goes up one day, but I'm just, as we're talking now, over time, if you just invested into Bitcoin or mined into Bitcoin, you would have made out a lot better than now, as of now. Okay, so when I was looking at my taxes and stuff, so this is where I'm currently now. I've like more so the past half year, I've been doing the whole mine and sell, because a lot of the ASIC miners and even GPU miners, the AI stuff that I have going on right now is making, 70-80% more than what the electricity is using. So I'm using that income, that profit now to as an income, right? I'm selling essentially to get that income essentially. I know when you first mine something or anything, it's considered income, and when you sell it, and if the price goes up or down within that next couple days, it's considered capital loss or capital gain. So I'm in the boat now where right now, I know money print. I know the interest rates, people talking about interest rates dropping. Jerome Powell talked about it, I think December 1st, that there might not be an interest rate drop. I don't know. But they did talk about quantitative easing. I know that sounds completely bullish, right? Oh, it's like what happened in 2020, oh, okay, quantitative easing coming back in, interest rates dropping, money printer go burr. That means things are going to go up, right? I hope so. That's the plan. So I'm currently not taking that risk right now because, like I said, I have enough of a bag that I'm holding that is good enough for me. So I am now in the realm of garnering the cash in case bear market comes next year. I am garnering just cash. I'm going heavy into cash up until the next bear market. And then when the bear market comes, I will be set. I will be ready to have that capital ready to deploy during the bear market. So that's what I'm doing right now. And king of ads. What does that mean? Did an ad play? Okay, I'm gonna turn that off. An ad played? Okay. Sell to pay expense, hodl the rest in BTC. Kiko. And I'm gonna say I totally agree with doing that, Kiko, but again, financial situation applies. Do you have a full-time job? Are you making cash in other ways? Are you, you know, how much money are you comfortable with in case, do you have a safety net? You know, these are things to consider when you're these are things to consider. I don't know what type of financial situation a lot of you guys are in, but let me just do like a fun poll here. I don't really know what type of miner are you right now? Mine and hodl. Mine and sell some for electric. Mining and selling everything. Mining. There is really nothing else. Mining and what? Mining and what? I don't know. What's a fourth thing I could put in here? Mine and convert to BTC. I mean, that would be, I'm gonna put that in the realm of, I'm gonna put that in the mine and hodl realm. That mining and failing. Mining and whining. Eating the power bill. See, tons of people have different mine and buy Pokemon cards. Yes, Retro Mike, this is the way. That's it. Mine and buy Pokemon cards. That's literally what I'm doing. Okay, let's see. All right, let's see what you guys are doing. Let's see what everyone's doing here. Because, okay, so I've talked to a lot of mining farms. I've talked to a lot of big mining farms. They're all selling. They're all selling into USDT. Like let me tell you guys, the guys that have 2 cents electric, okay, the guys that have like extremely, you know, cheap electricity, they are, hold on one sec, somebody here. I'll be right back. Hold on a sec.
Redpanda's basement, such disarray. Crypto mining, swirling dust every day. I'm the volunteer to take the wild nest. For some crispy nuggets, I'll do my best. I tangled through spaghetti gone wrong. Couldn't find the floor all night long. Graphics cards, more than stars in the sky. For some chicken nuggets, I'm ready to try. Wires tangled like spaghetti gone wrong. Couldn't find the floor all night long. Graphics cards, more than stars in the sky. For some chicken nuggets, I'm ready to try. Chicken nuggets make the world seem right. Golden by shining in the night. Working hard in the shadows so cold. For those nuggets worth more than gold. Bitcoin buzzing, louder than bees. Sucking boards up to my knees. But a promise for just one bite keeps me going in the dark of night.
Okay, I'm back. I am back. All right. Okay. So, all right, I'm back. Sorry. Okay, what was I talking about? So there's a mining farm I talked to. They have like, 3 cents electric, and they have like S19s, S19 XPs. They got lower end stuff. But they're still making a couple bucks, right? They're still making, at like, you know, 3 cents per, this is just one example. This is one example. So like with an S19 XP, you know, they're making $4.52 a day, and they have like 300 of them or something, right? So 300 times, let's just say $4 and 21. So they're okay. So they're making, okay, so listen, every day their, you know, revenue wise is going to be about $1,200. Okay, but their electricity, okay, so their electricity, they're spending at 3 cents. They're going to be spending, is that 3 cents? Yeah, 3 cents. They're going to be spending $2.07 a day on each one. So if it, 2.07 times 300 S19 XPs. Oops, 300. So they're making $12.50, but they're spending $621 in electricity every day. So they're making $600 pretty much after electricity. Okay. So they're taking they've been selling everything, because considering as well taxes, okay, right? Taxes in their business income, employees. Wait, no, this one has, no, they're all self-mining, so they don't have employees. They're self-mining. So they're kind of like in the realm right now of like they're trying to make sure they have a capital. They're trying to get a safety net and like capital preservation. They're basically, they believe in Bitcoin. They obviously believe Bitcoin's going to go higher, but you can't, their reasoning is you can't time, you know, the market and stuff. When, you know, Bitcoin, we all know Bitcoin's going to go higher overall. We all know that. We all know that. But the money that they're generating, like after expense, $600 every day, that's like wife changing money. If you tell me, if you were making $600 a day after your electricity, wouldn't you be selling too? Tell me. Talk to me, guys. If you were making 600, okay, then hold on, minus let's say 12, they were $12.50 after. So they're making $629 a day times, let's say monthly roughly. They're making 18 grand after electricity. Tell me, just tell me, you know, they had 2 people. So if, you know, you got to pay the people, you got to pay the owners, right? So they're doing it as a business. You got to pay your owners, right? Then you got to pay the taxes. So this is basically someone's salary, you know, you're paying someone's salary with this, you know, this is, yes, I said wife changing money. Is this wife changing money? I mean, it's basically a full-time job. Right? It's basically a full-time job for them. This is their full-time job income, essentially. Do they have regular jobs aside from mining? No. Right? They're full-time crypto mining, self-mining, you know, at 3 cents. So you know, you guys understand what I'm talking about, right? Everyone has a different situation. So someone that has a full-time job, or someone that has multiple sources of income, they're probably, look at this, 52% of you say you're mine and hodl. 52% of you are in the mine and hodl realm. We got 19% of you that are in the mine and sell some for electric. We have 22% of you in the mining and selling everything realm. And we have 6% of you in the mine and buy Pokemon cards. Amazing. But you guys are understanding, right? Everyone's in a different financial situation, that depending on the type of crypto mining strategy that you're doing, you can't just say, oh, I'm gonna do this, or I wish I could do this, or, you know, depending on the scale, right? Depending on how cheap your electricity is, how much money are you making a day? Is it life changing enough for you to do that? You know, these are all things to consider. And for me, I'm in the realm now, right? I do everything myself. I don't have employees, but I'm in the realm of mining and selling right now, right? I told you guys, right? I'm after my electricity, roughly, I'm profiting about $250 US a day. So that's just from my mining and my AI stuff combined right now. Only 250 after electricity. And I'm saying only. That's quite a bit, I know. So US, right? This is like my income essentially, right? My mining, and I consider I'm doing everything as a business. I have to pay quarterly taxes. You know, I also make money from my YouTube. This is just from, you know, this is just from my mining and stuff alone, right? Generally right now. So, you know, it's like what type of, what's it gonna take for you to do the whole mine and hodl thing and in hopes that it's gonna go up, you know? And timing everything is something that it's been really rough for a lot of crypto miners. especially if you don't have that full-time job, especially if you lost your job, especially if, you know, you don't have other sources of income. Everyone that I've seen over the past couple of years, I mean, you guys have seen it. You guys have seen the liquidations of crypto mining. You've seen GPUs being sold off in mass on eBay by crypto miners. I still get emails every other day or so. It's like, hey, Red Panda, I lost my job, or I'm getting a divorce, you know, I can't afford to do crypto mining anymore. Do you want to buy my GPUs? I get these types of emails every day. Every other day, I'd say, not every day, but every other day. And it's really sad to see that happening. And I think that this is the case more often than not for, you know, what's been happening around us, right? And I think for anyone that's like saying that, oh, don't worry about any of that stuff, you know, just, yeah, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. I guess the play right now, the play for somebody that's wanting to make money out of this is to simply have cheap electric, and you got to make sure you have a job that can pay you, so that'll pay you enough that you can you know, continue on this type of investment, right? A very, very, very volatile, risky investment. Again, crypto mining itself, zero-sum game. And if you got residential electric, again, the saying goes, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Okay, the juice just isn't worth the squeeze, meaning like the reward or the outcome of an action is just not worth the effort, the risk, or the negative consequences involved in achieving it. So like buying the coin is and has been, honestly, probably the better bet, especially if you're a residential miner, because the amount that you're going to be spending on electricity, the effort, right? The juice ain't worth the squeeze is just it's just getting worse. And an L9 at 15 cents electric is making you $4 a day now. All right, I'm just saying it's not nothing. I'm not saying that's bad, but you know, the juice ain't worth the squeeze anymore, is what I'm trying to say here. And nobody, if you want to buy an L11 at home, you know, no one's gonna spend $10,000-$11,000, you know, $8,000, $9,000 as a home miner on an L11 at 15 cents electric. Okay, you know, it's like it's getting to that point of equilibrium, where the equilibrium of all these coins, profitability, difficulty, the price of the coin, all these factors matter now, and it's coming to a point of like diminishing return. That's why residential mining for altcoins and just generally overall has just been in this negative downward spiral that if you look at it again, you looked at your taxes, I looked at mine, and oh my goodness, man, like the capital loss, the losses on some of these altcoins that I've held for the past couple of years is in the double digits. Okay, we're talking 50, sometimes some of them are 90% down. So it's like, you know, if we all just, you know, it's just looking at that and in hopes that altcoin season's going to come. That's the risk that you took, right? That's the gamble that someone's going to take. And that's the gamble I think majority of us took. Let's be honest here. How many people are still holding a lot of these coins? Put your hands up. I still have my I have like 2 million Neoxa completely down. 97% down. What? This was the biggest fail. Neoxa. Dynex. I have some, not a lot. Nexa. I have a couple million Nexa for sure. Multi-millions. Narai. I have some Narai. I have like a million Meow coin. That's down. Flux. I don't have any Flux anymore. That's gone. Chlor AI. I have actually a couple $1,000s in Chlor for sure. Zilica. I still have all my Zil. Raven coin. I have Raven coin. Ergo. I have Ergo still. I have a little bit of Alephium left. Alephium is completely wrecked. Alephium wrecked. Extremely wrecked. Ruputs, did you hear about Digibyte new coin? I did not. Did you check when you write off crypto gear? Paradigm Tech, yes. Paradigm Tech. And I'm thankful that I make income from YouTube sponsors and other stuff to, you know, to be able to, you know, write off, you know. So if I just did mining alone, and that's why I'm in the realm now of tax planning as well. So I recently just bought a few ASIC miners to host, and because of my income from other sources, it outweighs, you know, a lot for the expenses, and I don't want to pay more in taxes, so I have to try and buy some stuff in order to depreciate, lower the taxes, right? Valdir Rico, what's up, man? Ripim, I know your electric and financial budget. Stay small and efficient. It works. Yeah, and that's the thing. Again, I have 7 to 8 cents electric, so I'm able to still profit. I'm still able to profit overall, right? Generally overall. And that's the thing of right now. Right now, do I believe that Bitcoin's going to go to higher highs? I do. Right? I do believe Bitcoin's going to go higher high. But for how much longer? Right? Do we have a couple months left? Right? You know, am I gonna risk, you know, keep on mining and hodling everything into Bitcoin? No. Like I said, I'm comfortable enough with my holdings that I'm no longer doing that method. So I'm going mainly everything into, I have been going into USDC actually on everything. So that's where I'm building my safety net there, basically. I dumped all into BTC except for Doge, CAS, and some XRP. Mr. BC, what's up, man? Yeah. Caspa, man. Caspa is, yeah, this is one, this is an interesting one for sure. Caspa is, man, Caspa is right there. Caspa's right there. I mean, Caspa is technically still good. Technically. It's a pirate. I sold my cast bag at 8 cents. I've sold some at random times, like 10 cents, 14 cents, 17, 16, 12. Yeah, a lot of times. Caspa is hard buy in the United States. You're right. There's no exchange. There's no exchange in the U.S. for Caspa, right? Not yet. Why is that? How come nobody has? How come Coinbase or any of these coins have not, you know, gotten into Caspa yet? Buy a Tangent Kraken. You can. I think you can swap Caspa on Tangent. Yeah. Okay, so majority of you guys are in the realm of 61% mine and hodl. I want to ask you guys, for those that hold on, I need to close my door. For those that are doing the mine and hodl, how many miners do you guys have? Are you guys large scale or small scale, medium scale? Let me know in the chat. I just want to read. Let me know in the chat. What do you guys have? A lot of capital to keep going? You have, you know, full-time extra jobs, other sources of income, you know. Let me know. What's your reasoning for the whole mine and hodl? You know, this is where I'm like, okay, majority of people that are doing that are small scale. Majority of people who are doing that are small scale, but for people that are doing it in a larger scale, they're in this realm. From whom I've talked to, not a lot of people can do the whole. Not a lot of businesses, especially doing it at a larger scale, can do the whole mine and hodl because it's not cheap. It's not cheap. Let me tell you, it's not cheap. Random miner, small scale home, full-time job, expanding solar. It's a pirate solar. Nice. Paradigm miner, solar mine, Bitcoin and hodling, small scale with solar panel. Nice. Small scale hobby miner. Okay, so like a lot of you guys have like, yeah, small scale. Yeah. Ron Watkins. Nope. Ron, you're not mining in hodl. You're 100% living off crypto. Nice. Ron, I know you. Yes, Ron, you are a pretty big miner. You are a large scale miner. So it makes sense that you're saying that you're not mining and hodling because you have to live off. You have to sell, right? You have to sell because your expenses are like, Ron, I don't like your power bill's in the 5 digits, right? Your power bill is in the 5 or 6. Is it a 6-digit power bill? You have a 6-digit power bill? Damn. No, I think you're in the 5-digit power bill realm, right? So yeah, 5. It's okay. So 5 digits in power bills is not cheap. Around 14K. Okay, 14,000 in electricity. Okay, that's honestly that's not. See, I'm between 6 and 8. I'm between there. I'm between. So I'm half of you. So that kind of then relate. That makes sense for me. I'm in this realm right now. I'm in the realm of mining and selling everything because the income generation that I'm earning from my miners is, you know, 60%, 70% after my electricity. So okay. But I'm seeing majority of you are saying, Adam Johnson says 15 to 20 cards, electricity is too expensive to just hodl. Converting everything to AI rigs for lower electricity. Adam Johnson, nice, man. Yeah, so again, I'm reading a lot of people's different financial situations here, and I'm glad that I can read all this because it just shows that, you know, depending on your financial situation, not everyone can just do the whole mine and hodl. Not everyone is doing the whole mining and selling, you know. This just confirms my we got 124 people here, 46 likes. Smash the like, bros. Smash the like here. Bitcoin is still hasn't really broken out yet. 108,000, 109,000 Bitcoin. What's everyone's rate? I'm at 0.89 cents. Watts miner, you at 9 cents? Okay. Paradigm Tech. I have free electricity with solar, so finding one Bitcoin block changes my mining trajectory. And all of my GPUs stuck in the garage doing nothing. Paradigm Tech. Nice, man. See? That's a great way, right? A lot of people on solar, right? Connie and Guy says, where are they getting 3-cent power? Connie and Guy, well, this is where you're dealing directly with the power provider. and you're obviously doing it in a commercial and industrial sense at a big scale. And yeah, so you're not gonna find 3 cents at, you know, residential power unless you're in Libya or Paraguay or I think there's a few other countries that have cheap electricity. But yeah, dude, Foxconn down 7%. Dang, a lot of these Chinese companies are going down. Dang. Amazon up. Wait, why is Amazon up 10%? Holy smoke. What happened to Amazon? Netflix is up. Russia also cheap power. Redput's nice, man. Yeah, everyone's got different types of electricity. See, that all plays the part, right? It all plays the part of what type of crypto mining strategy you're running. So because I have cheaper electric, I am now like, that's why I'm in the realm of, okay, I can generate this amount of cash right now. Could I make more by mining and hodling? Sure. But am I willing to take that risk right now where the market is? And I do believe Bitcoin and stuff is going to keep going higher. But again, because of my income generation that I'm generating right now, and that I'm running this as a business, and I have to pay taxes every quarter. You know, I have to lower my risk, and I gotta be doing the whole mining and selling. So I know a lot of people don't like that way. I know a lot of people want me to do the whole mine and hodl, but I'm being completely honest with you guys. You know, I'm in the boat now where, because when tax time comes, and let's say I did mine and hodl, right, in that quarter, because I have to pay taxes every quarter. Let's just say I did mine and hodl. You know, if I mine and held, let's say I mine and held BTC into Bitcoin over the past 3 months. And Bitcoin was like 125k, right? And then when tax time came, Bitcoin was then maybe 100k. So, you know, Bitcoin dropped from 125 to 100k. I just lost. I would be also having a capital loss on my Bitcoin that I held over the past 3 months in order to sell it, because I didn't have enough capital. I didn't have enough cash to pay the taxes on the side. So I basically lost, right? And this is why the mining farms I talk to, they're mining and selling every day, because you don't want to run into the volatile risk of the coins, you know, dropping so much or going up, right? You get the benefit of it going up too, but more so the past couple of years, especially with a lot of altcoins, if you're mining and holding, in my case here, they've gone down tenfold. So that strategy did not work out well, and I've basically lost it's bad. It's real bad. So I don't know about you guys, but a lot of the coins that I've mined into over the past couple of years are in the negative. So Sadie, sometimes, hello, welcome. How are you, man? I get my free power the way AOC showed me. I plugged the power cable into the power strip. Gave me a Smoky Dan. Paradigm Tech, bro, you do you. We support you. Paradigm Tech. And a lot of people just don't agree. You know, a lot of people don't agree with doing the whole mine and hodl thing. And a lot of people don't agree with the whole mine and sell thing. And I get it, right? Mining and selling is like, oh, it goes against the whole thing of, you know, hodling the crypto, right? Crypto will eventually, I know for a fact that when we see Bitcoin at $2.1 trillion market cap, that in a few years, maybe a decade from now, that Bitcoin's going to be up here, right? Bitcoin's going to be 10 trillion, 15 trillion. I know for a fact. I know that it'll happen one day. It's going to happen one day. It's just at this point in time, depending on your financial situations, people have to mine and sell to live. That's just That's just the reality. Not a lot of people, like Mr. Ron said in the chat, he's 100% living off crypto right now. So he has to be mining and selling. There's just no way around it unless you had a full-time job or other forms of income coming in. You drive for Uber or something, or but people doing this on a larger scale, the income generation is already pretty decently high, depending on your electricity. So I find that everyone's in a different boat right now, and depending on what type of investing strategy that you're doing with whole mining or crypto in general, or just buying the coin, everyone's got to understand, that the next guy can't do what you're doing. I just hope that you guys can understand that. And this is something I've been more so coming to terms with recently, because everyone's just in a different situation. Rocky Gamer, what's up, man? I have $1. Nice. The purpose of mining is to provide liquidity to exchanges. So mine and sell everything makes sense. I don't disagree with that. I don't think my purpose is that right now. I don't think it that way. But whatever. Me selling to an exchange or selling somewhere like Coinbase, that's what I generally use. Coinbase. I have no care if it provides liquidity or not, but I'm in this financial situation of where, considering taxes, considering tax planning, considering everything. You got to consider everything. There's so many things to consider when you're running it as a business. When you're doing it as a hobby, you obviously don't have to consider that. And yeah, so Connie and Guy, if you mine straight into USDC, is that a taxable event in Canada? So Connie and Guy, so the mining pool that I have going into USDC, well, okay, depends on what pool you're on, of course. But Power Pool, for instance, does the trade for you. So the taxable event is on the pool. When the USDC goes to your wallet, to your own wallet, that's the cost basis. Okay, so that's the cost basis. That's your income. And then when you go to sell it, well, USDC is 1-to-1, so there's no volatility there really. You don't get taxed again, essentially, because it's already 1-to-1. You're not gonna get a taxable gain. You're not gonna get a capital gain or loss. So, Alltrack says, Connie Guy, as a business, yes, it is considered income, but unlike BTC that has variable price, there will be no gain or loss for taxes when sold. Yeah, exactly. As a hobby, in my case, I have to consider the yearly income tax. Every country is different, so DYOR. Yeah, right. It's a pirate. Right, exactly. Oh, even... Hey, it's a pirate. Hold on, Zapirate. You said your hobby, but you consider the yearly income tax. So wait. That's if you sell, then that would be considered a gain or loss, right? I haven't looked into hobby. How does hobby when we Canada. Let's see here. Ah, here we go. Crypto Tax Guide 2025. Here we go. How is crypto taxed in Canada? As a commodity, crypto is subject to income tax, but not always the same way as regular income is. If your crypto is taxed as income, you'll pay income tax on the entire proceeds of a crypto transaction. If your crypto is taxed as capital gain, you'll only pay income tax on half of any profits of a crypto transaction. Whether crypto is taxed in full or part, all comes down to whether your investment is seen as a business income or capital gain. Yeah, Okay, so this is where it comes in. The CRA decides on whether you have business income or capital gains on a case-by-case basis, but an individual transaction may be considered business income, while other transactions by the same investor may be considered capital gains. The CRA guidance says common signs of business income include your conduct in crypto activity for commercial reasons, you promote a product or service, you show that you intend to make a profit, your crypto activities are regular and repetitive. This is the big one, repetitive. If you're getting transactions from mining like every week or every day, that's considered repetitive. Let's see, but mining here, do they have mining here? Crypto mining, okay, here we go, explanation here. Crypto mining and staking taxes in Canada. The CRA guidance on crypto mining tax revolves around the scale and intentions of your crypto mining activities. Tax on mining crypto. Hobby miner. You'll pay capital gains when you sell. Business income. You'll pay income tax on receipt. So this is when you receive it into your wallet, that's cost basis, even though you haven't sold it. But when you do sell it, it'll be capital gains or loss. So hobby miner, your capital gains, okay, so you're not paying, okay, as a hobby miner, you're not paying the initial tax on when you receive it, but you're then paying the tax on when you sell it. Okay, interesting. Oh, and YouTube is not receiving enough video to make me. All right, it looks like the stream's going down. Not again.